This is your announcer, Shannon Saint Mainframe, welcoming you to our IPA Livecast. Rob's been in Mexico this week and even spent some time in a sweat lodge. And yes, before you even say it, sweat lodge was his nickname in Escuela. Our IPA Livecast starts now.
Wow, Shannon's Spanish is better than my own. Welcome to a special edition of RIPL Livecast, Friday night edition. Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend. We're kicking off the weekend with a livecast. Thanks for tuning in. I am broadcasting from Mexico. And Sid and Darren are not.
Have you used... I'm jealous. Have you used a lot of Spanish on your trip or no?
I have not used much Spanish, but my sister, who I'm with, is like very conversational. She's been here for a few weeks and she's been taking lessons, and I've been very impressed with her abilities. She's nailing it.
Nice. Good for her.
So I am in Tulum, Mexico, and I'm on my 1 month journey of travel. I'll be in LA. I get into LA on Sunday, which I just realized is Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh my! In LA, right?
The stadium is right by the airport.
Oh
so
no!
It's going to be very exciting. And I land
That's
around noon, which is like right around when people are getting there. It's going to be wonderful.
Oh yeah, the airport thing makes it bad. I was gonna say if you were just there and it happened while you were there, that could be an interesting life experience, But getting to and from the airport is gonna be hellish.
Can you walk to the hotel? Is that an option?
No, I cannot.
No,
I cannot. But I have a car rental. I'll have some podcasts. I will probably have some substances of some sort.
Yeah,
that are green.
I noticed while we were waiting for the show to begin, while we play our intro, you can see the beautiful metal injection. Formerly metal injection. RIP a Livecast banner. Mm-hmm. And it's got all sorts of Livecast memes on it and stuff. Mm-hmm. And one of them is Ozzy Osbourne. And it just he's right over the holodiettes. It just noticed. It looks like he's snatching a piece of the holodiette.
Yeah.
I'm glad you noticed it.
I didn't know you did that consciously. That's beautiful. Mm-hmm. And also the Sheik is popping out to say like, hey, get away from my holodiettes, you piece of shit. And then Mike Francesa is shocked behind.
He's like, wow, you're really going to eat that holodiette?
What is that? It looks like some kind of cube, chicken cube or something.
And then James Hetfield's like, no, don't eat the holodiettes.
Stay away.
For newer listeners, holodiettes, which is the item directly under Ozzy's hand if you're watching the video.
And right above the sperm.
Yes.
Is a savory gelatin made with chicken soup and chicken pieces and some vegetables. It's aspic salad is the English term for it. We've mentioned it on the show many times, and check out our YouTube page for a little tasting from a few years ago where Darren was disgusted out of his mind.
We all were. Don't put it all on me.
It was all of us, Rob. All right.
You were. I think you had to say that.
No, I'm not disgusted by it. I've eaten it. I've willingly eaten it.
I still don't believe that. I think I heard there's also a Spanish word for holodiettes. It's mierda. I don't know if you have seen that sold anywhere. I don't know if savory is the right word. Like I guess it qualifies as savory, but it's like
no one's savoring that.
Yes, exactly. It's just so disgusting.
Yeah.
You want to get it if you have to eat it. You're a starving man in like Estonia or something. Like, and you just have to eat something, and holodiettes is there. You just want to get it down your gullet as soon as possible. Like
that's honestly, that's most Russian food. It's like, all right, we're in Siberia. Nothing grows here. It's freezing. What looks possibly edible? All right, fine.
Tree bark.
Yeah. I might rather that than holodiettes. At least it's crispy.
I think also the tree bark doesn't smell of anything.
Yeah, it's just nature, just freshness.
It's not pleasant, but it's not openly repulsive.
Yeah. I don't know. Rob's a different breed.
He's got a strong constitution. I give him that.
Yeah.
I feel like if you grew up with it, you kind of develop a taste for it. And as I mentioned on the show many moons ago, I did not like it at first, but when I got home one day, when I lived with my parents still, and I was very stoned and I was very hungry, it was the only thing in the fridge. It was like that moment it all connected with me. Like, oh, I finally get it.
Oh God. Because you were high. That's everything. See, it all traces back to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how's your trip?
It's been great. It's been wonderful. I've been here for about a week. Tulum is a very interesting place. It's like there's a lot of Americans here, a lot of tourists. It's definitely a tourist town, but it's like it's still on its way up development wise. So it's kind of crazy because like I'm staying in a very nice kind of resorty type condo. I'm at an Airbnb. Like there's pools, there's people like cleaning around the area, keeping the space nice and clean, and then like the rest of the block is just essentially the jungle, and then there's like 2 developments being worked on. And so it's like very mixed. Like there's really, really nice jungle, and then like the natives, and the natives are not living in luxury at all. But yeah, then there's like the main road, a lot of good Mexican food. I've been having lots of tacos and lots of good other food. I had like sushi on the beach that was really good, and I had
what kind of sushi was it?
It was like so there was like a soft shell crab roll, a nice prawn tempura, not shrimp. It was like giant prawns, and then I had a nice little salmon roll.
You're getting called out in the chat, by the way, for referring to the people who live where you are as the natives.
How should I refer to them?
The
locals,
the Tulumians,
the indigenous peoples.
I am fully aware and acknowledge that I am an imperialist gringo, and I have been tipping accordingly and just trying to spread my economic seed.
Is that the only seed you've spread there this week, Rob?
That's the only seed.
What's the gay scene like over there?
I haven't really explored.
No grinding?
I think Rob's just there to relax and hang out with us.
I've dabbled, but yeah, I'm not really in that kind of mindset.
What did
I've dabbled in the sense of like I opened the app and I've chatted with a few people, but it's not like anything.
You didn't go on a Reddit to ask where you can find the gay bars, or like we did with Germany?
You don't have to go on Reddit for that. There's plenty of sites that will tell you. There's only 2 gay bars in Tulum, and they're not really like popping. They're just like any other bar.
Do they have fun names?
One of them is called Bati, which I believe is like Bati Boy, I assume.
Oh,
maybe it's,
wow.
I was going to make that joke, and then that's just what it is.
I assume that's what it is. And the other one is like a dance club. I don't remember what it was called.
The White Swallow? No. Is there an actual gay bar with that name?
It's called the Fruity Cocktail Bar.
What?
I haven't been there yet.
Do they serve fruity cocktails, or are they saying we have cocktails for you if you're fruity? Like, what's the...
I haven't been. I don't know.
Is it very literal, or is there a joke in there? It's hard to tell.
Oh, I guess then there's a go-go bar. It looks like. Oh, well, this changes everything.
You only have like a day and a half left. You better get cracking.
Yeah.
Maybe can you take your computer there now?
No, I'm not going to be taking it out.
Just say you're with like Vice News or something.
Plus, the town is like a cab ride away.
Yeah,
it's not. I can't just like walk there. And the beach is really nice. I've been to the beach a bunch. I got a massage on the beach, which is very exciting.
From your sister?
No, from a masseuse.
On the beach, there's just like masseuses walking around.
They're not walking around. So the way the beaches are set up is there's basically beach clubs with chairs and towels and stuff. And if you buy a drink or food, you can hang out in the beach club, or you could just be in the private part of the beach. So we were in the beach club. We got some smoothies. It was early in the morning, so we weren't exactly drinking, but it was nice. And then they just had like a massage stand, and they were like, "Hey, anybody want a massage?" And I wanted a massage.
And was this included, or did you have to pay for the massage?
No, you pay for it. It's a separate.
How much was it?
Thing. I think it was like $40 basically American. It was 800 pesos.
Okay, I guess.
So
And was it? Have you had massages often? Do you have something to compare?
I haven't had them often, but it was an excellent massage. I felt very
full release.
This 5'4" woman. No, I was on my stomach the whole time.
Well, that could
what?
Provide full release, a little prostate stimulation.
No prostate stimulation. No, she didn't go by the butt. But this 5'4" woman beat me up to the point where I was like, "Hey, lady, calm down." Kind of like a little.
You really said that?
She was. Well, I didn't say calm down.
What'd
it was
you say?
Like minus. Minus.
Episode title. Lock it in.
She was going in for my neck, and like when you want to squeeze, like when you I don't know if you've ever had. It just reminded me of when like my older cousin was bullying me and like grabbing my neck and like squeezing it. Like that's what it felt. I was like, "No, stop! This is pain."
The only person I knew that ever did that to me was Chris T from the radio station, and Darren knows him as well. He used to do that all the time. I'm like, "Stop touching me! You ain't touching me. You just put your hands on my neck." What is this? He was. It's too bad he predated Me Too, because I would have Me Too'd him for touching my neck without my permission. Sometimes you do it on my knee. Get your hands off. This is only for people that I want touching me.
Do you want anyone touching you?
Sure, my wife can touch me. A doctor in certain situations, but I don't need Chris from the Brooklyn College radio station touching my pressure points. Keep your hands to yourself.
So, yeah, it's like I always think of the Curb Your Enthusiasm episode with the penises touching when they hug. So conscious of that now. Like I never thought about it.
I never hug that closely.
Yeah, always. I kind of like lean when I hug. It's not like a 1-to-1. Like so it's only my chest that touches their chest.
And you do so. So the episode is right. That's what he's saying. Men usually do, and this guy was violating it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but
like, I never knew.
I don't think like the person wouldn't be able to violate me because I'm at a
You're
like
the
a
top
45-degrry angle.
Yeah,
essentially. So they wouldn't be able to get by my crotch. My crotch is further away than my chest. I guess maybe Larry David is shorter than me. That distance is so small that it's easy to access.
I think what happened in that show was that the guy he didn't know he was about to be hugged, so he couldn't assume the position, and the guy just.
Oh, I see.
He's like, "Hey, buddy, how you doing?" And he just kind of enclosed him, I want to commend you for one thing, because I know you're getting roasted for like being culturally insensitive right now, but you did say Tulum correctly. I keep hearing white people say Tulum.
Really?
Yes, Tulum. I think Noah said it. I'm pretty sure when she was going there. She said it while she was on the show. She was going there with Nikki, and she goes, "I'm going to Tulum."
Well, that does make me think. Like Rob, there is this precedent now that one of us goes to Tulum, and then shortly thereafter they leave the show. Is this going to be your
my exit?
Son of a bitch!
Oh, Sid, I forgot to mention I'm going to Tulum in a few weeks.
Well, maybe if all of us go, then it negates it.
Oh, all right.
There's a lot of Americans and specifically New Yorkers here.
How do you know they're New Yorkers?
I've talked to them.
They say I'm getting a massage over here. Yeah. A lot of that going on. Is that how you can tell?
Yeah, let's go snorkeling, all right? Hey.
Look at all these natives.
Is natives offensive? I don't understand. Like, what's offensive about natives? I think they're native to the town. They were born here.
I don't think
like a New York native.
I think it has some connotations that like thinking of cannibals and like boiling people in pots, and that's what the white people used to call the Africans in the 50s.
You just say the locals.
Okay. The locals.
I know the word native inherently doesn't mean, like, I'm a native New Yorker. I don't think it inherently means anything, but when you talk about like global South poor people, it sort of has baggage to it, I would say.
Well, my apologies. I did not intend to offend.
We know that. Like, jokes aside, I know that you. It's hard to keep up with all this stuff.
There's also so many stray dogs. It makes me feel so bad. I want to just start a dog shelter here and recruit all of them. But they're also smart, and like they're just hunting for food on the scraps on the floor.
Did you give them any of your prawn?
No, there weren't any.
He didn't bring the computer with the prawn on it. So.
And Dusty Rhodes Muffler with a disgusting question. Eat any? No, I have not eaten any dogs. Get out of here. I
don't think. You sure you meant dogs?
Probably. I'm hoping he did.
What else would he mean?
Eat any?
I'm not following, Aaron.
Did she, like, at any point, was she like crotch level to your mouth, maybe, and you accidentally took a bite?
No, at one point she was massaging my hand, and I think it was resting on her breasts while she was massaging it or something.
Were they plentiful?
Certainly.
How was she? How old was? Yeah, what age range?
She a matronly woman?
I don't know, like late 20s, early 30s, or possibly 50s.
I was boiling tea in the background.
No, like relatively young, not an old woman, like a relatively young woman.
Oh, any cute at all?
Not
you get a business card.
So I went with
which maybe Rob's on a Tulum discovery that he's by. Who knows?
Hey, the Kinsey scale is different for all of us.
It's like your eat, pray, love.
So I went snorkeling, and the guide. So it was me and these two lovely women about my age from Arizona that were on the snorkeling trip. So it was a very intimate crew.
Did they know Noah?
They didn't. I asked. They didn't.
It's a big state, but it only has 8 people in it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And our guide looked like Kurt Russell in the movie Overboard.
Yeah.
He looked so much like, and he was like just as brown. Let me pull up.
Are you going to show us Kurt Russell or the guide right now?
No, Kurt Russell. I didn't take a photo of the guy.
Side by side.
Was the guide native?
He was Spanish, yeah, or Mexican, I guess.
And now you're commenting on how brown he was?
He was. Hold on.
Just like well-known brown person Kurt Russell.
Let me clarify. He was a white Mexican person that had a crisp tan. That you could tell that he was out in the sun every day.
This is the
canceled, I think.
So he was among the aristocratic, well-to-do Mexican elite, you'd say, like Alberto Del Rio.
He's like, I don't know. I'm not going to comment on his skin color anymore. I walked into some trouble. But anyway, he was an amazing guide. So the first stop, we were like swimming with stingrays and turtles. And he was the turtle whisperer. He kept drawing the turtles near us. Was like, hey, let's all hang out with the turtle. So that was pretty fun. And I actually have the person I was with took some video, and I got her to airdrop it to me.
Oh,
which was nice. Let's see if I can find this video. Oh yes. Here. Oh yes.
Oh yes.
What was I talking? Oh yeah. So the snorkeling was really, really gorgeous. I was very like, anytime you have an opportunity to go snorkeling, I highly recommend it, because it's like peeking in on a whole different world, like a whole different planet that's here on planet Earth. So it was very, very moving.
Oh yes,
So where's this fucking turtle already? What are we doing?
Here we go.
Do you flip it over on its back?
Hold on. The video isn't. I have to convert the video.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Rude. So give me a moment with that. So yeah, the snorkeling was fun. I also went to a cave, which was kind of interesting. And I swam in a cave. Grand Cenote. Oh, here's me and the turtle.
Oh,
the turtle. And you saw Kurt Russell's hand there. That was the whisperer. Oh, that was me. Okay. One of those is me. Oh, there's Kurt Russell.
Jeez.
What's the white stuff on his hands?
That's the palms of his hands.
He's pounding one out under the water and got a little.
That's what I'm saying. He's so tan that his palms look extra white.
I suppose.
Was he not tanning his hands?
I guess not.
What a noob tanner he is.
You can talk to him about that.
Oh, is he joining us?
Yeah, we're going to have him on in a moment. Let's bring him on.
All right.
What was his name?
Tanner.
I don't remember.
He was so great, but don't remember his name. Not important.
Oh, he's only a native.
I've never seen him again.
You just called him Chief.
Chief, what do you think? You think all natives are in tribes, Rob?
That's right.
I called him amigo because he's my friend.
Oh,
that's
dear
not at all
God.
condescending. I'm kidding. That's obviously condescending.
I'm kidding. He's not my friend.
The Grand Cenote was really, really cool. So it's just, a cave, and you go in there and you can swim in the cave. And there were bats at the cave. I felt like I was Batman. But they don't really they don't bother you. They just keep to themselves.
Was the COVID bat one of them or no? Could you tell? Did you get treated differently?
Is that the
Didn't
alleged
it?
thing? I don't know.
What Rob didn't know about bats is that they're really sexually attracted to sunflower seed shells and bong resin.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I haven't had any of that here. Unfortunately,
who needs Grinder when you just get bats coming at you, licking you up with their little rabies-infested mouths?
I'm really glad we could talk about this part of my life now. That it's very exciting for me to have a whole other aspect of my life that I'm.
What, that you fuck bats?
Right.
That I shared on the show for you guys to make jokes about.
There was nothing gay about that whatsoever.
Other than the name of the app, there's nothing specifically.
Exactly.
Was it a male bat we were talking about?
You don't really need the audio. There's some turtles, some fishes. It was very exciting.
Oh,
it's very nice.
That is
Did
nice.
you catch and kill and eat any of them?
No, I was trying to be a good guest in their home and not intrude or ruin anything.
That looked like a wrestling ring down there. What's going on there?
Is there an Onita match?
Oh, there's just like little areas where that were roped off that you can't go into because they're extra shallow. So you would essentially mess with the ecosystem because you'd be touching all the algae and whatever on the food that they eat.
Of all the people to make an Onita reference, Sid would be the third on the list of this show.
Oh no, I love that guy.
Sid's a big Onita guy.
Didn't know.
When I used to work at the record label I worked at, one of my coworkers used to bring in Onita VHSs all the time for us to watch.
Cool.
And he didn't, with no warning of why is there a countdown clock in the corner of the screen? Oh no, you'll see. Just watch. It's so good.
Anal explosion match.
That's
good stuff. At some point, we should do a watch along of an Onita match or something.
Sure.
Yeah, maybe we watch we could watch the match that he had with Terry Funk. It's a very famous. It's actually very dramatic and excellently done. Like it's cinematic in a way, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way they kind of try to resist getting exploded.
And
is it on?
Go ahead.
Is it on par with the cinematic experience of the New Day going to the Undertaker's castle?
Oh no!
I would say it is A step or two above that.
Oh wow, that's a big bar to
Believe it
clear.
or not.
Oh, spoiler
Here's
alert.
There's a teaser. Yeah, look at the ref with the
So-
fireman outfit on.
He doesn't
I
have
don't
any-
know that I ever saw this in full.
I don't
Oh,
think
it's
I
so
have.
good. I watched it before the John Moxley Kenny Omega match, and I was like, "Wow, this is really, really cool." Here's like
I've seen
one.
clips. I've seen the ending, but
So yeah, that so
Outfit
when
that
the
the ref is wearing.
when the clock strikes 0, the whole ring explodes. But if you hit the ropes,
yeah, boom.
Bam!
they also
a little
explode.
extra, just a little extra fun. And the
Now,
ropes
how
are
do-
barbed
Funny.
wire.
Now is that like theatrics, or did they just rig it to fuck him up and they don't like he's just taking it on
I
purpose?
think it's theatrics, but those explosions are happening right there, so you have to feel something.
But I think probably
plus
at that
barbed
part,
wire
the barbed
hurts.
wire is the more
Yeah.
painful thing.
All right.
So the thing that I'm most excited to talk about that I did, that was truly something that I got completely out of my comfort zone with.
Mexican Squid Game?
No.
Pulpo game.
A what? Who's a what?
Pulpo. Well, pulpo is octopus, but I was making a joke.
Oh, that's right. I knew that because I had some octopus talk.
I don't know how to say squid, honestly. So if anyone in the chat knows,
A squid.
yeah, sure. Squid.
So I did this spiritual experience called Temescal. And what it is, I'll load up this slide here to help explain it.
Oh boy.
So here you could see this hut. It's made out of volcanic rock. And this is actually even taller than the hut that I went into. So, and basically you go in there and it's a giant 1 hour schwitz. It's a spiritual schwitz. It's a sweat lodge.
What makes it spiritual?
There's a guided meditation during it, and it gets super hot. And basically, you kind of fight through your discomfort to learn something about yourself.
Oh boy, what did you learn?
Well, you kind of have to. So the idea is you come in with intentions. You have to come in with an intention. My intention was to try to be more present and not be worried about the past or what's happening in the future, and just be in the moment. And believe me, you really have to be present in one of these experiences. So the way it started was, I'm going to go through because actually this really explained the ceremony very well. So it's a part sweat lodge, part sacred ritual. Participants have reported feeling physically, emotionally, and mentally healthier. And so what is the ceremony? During the ceremony, participants will enter the sweat lodge, typically an igloo-shaped hut constructed from volcanic stone, wood, or cement. I guess it might have been cement or volcanic stone. It wasn't quite clear. Once inside, hot volcanic rocks are placed into the center, and water is poured over the rocks to produce steam. Herbs, typically sage or copal, are added to aid in the cleansing process. So it was, I guess, like an hour and a half. So when you get there, there's a fire. That's where the coals are being readied. And everyone's kind of surrounding the fire and kind of getting in the vibe. And then like once everyone is kind of checked in and they're ready to go. And by the way, there were like 30 people. And the hut looked so tiny. I was like, how are all of us going to fit in this tiny hut? And we did.
Were you the biggest person in the hut?
I guess I was the tallest. I'm not really. I wasn't doing a survey at the time.
How many
I was
people
trying to focus
was it?
on my. It was like 30 people.
Jesus.
I mean, who's he going to be in there? Like Dwight Howard? I mean, there's not that many people taller than Rob.
It's
You
true.
don't know. Well, that's actually where the most discomfort was for me. So, okay, so it starts and they start beating the drums and doing a chant, and like they're kind of setting the mood like, okay, we have to focus. Things are about to start. And what was so wild is I remember there was one girl who was also maybe the second tallest person there, after me, obviously.
So you didn't.
And she was taking video. This is why I noticed her, and I just felt like, oh, this feels like rude. This feels like not something you should be capturing video of. This feels like a, sacred moment that should just be for this moment. And sure enough, this girl like quit the lodge like 10 minutes in. She was like, I can't do this. I'm out of here.
She said that?
Ready. She asked to exit the lodge.
Well, maybe she just went in just to get the video and then she was done.
No. This is before we walked into this happened before we all got into the lodge.
Oh.
This was outside of the lodge. This is the ceremony, like the intro ceremony. The guy is doing his spiritual chant. We're all looking at the fire. We're all concentrating on it. And
do you remember what the chant was?
No, I don't. I mean,
you can't give us.
You
can't.
El Dorino knows what it was. He said it in the chat. There it is. Second from the last one.
Oh, it's Sweat Lodge Rabba. Is that what chanting? Yeah. Maybe Sweat Lodge Rabba. I mean, maybe it could have been. Yeah. But so then they invite you. So before they invite you in, you have to get like desaged. They have like an incense that they wave around your body and kind of say a prayer. So this was very spiritual, but there was no religion involved, which I very much appreciated. And they weren't talking down. They were like, whatever your higher being is, like look to that. So here it says, we start around the fire, being thankful for the forest and the earth. And then you go inside the mezcal, you kneel on your knees and you ask to be in the belly button of the earth. The shaman that we had would call the igloo like Mother Earth's womb, like we were entering Mother Earth's womb.
Yeah.
By the way, throughout this whole experience, I couldn't help but think, like, if you guys were here, you would have been so pissed that I took you to that. Like, you would have.
Oh, for sure. I would not have gone. There was no you taking me to this. There would
right. I'm just saying, like, if somehow you ended up, you would have like, what the fuck are we doing in here?
It's hot. Come on.
Get me out of here.
I would have done everything in my power to ruin the experience for you, Rob, if you've somehow forced me to participate in this. The whole time, I would have just been pulling on your arm hairs as you were trying to meditate, or I'd be flicking your earlobes, or just like breathing in your face. The whole time, I would be ruining it for you, so you would not have brought me along.
So you're given a little bit of tobacco, and you're supposed to throw it in the fire before you enter the lodge and state your intention. To yourself, you don't say it out loud. Right? It's a one person thing. You just kind of, it's almost like it's not really a prayer, just like, you declare your intention to the fire. Then you go in the lodge, you circle in, and then the shaman kind of guides you through. They bring in the rocks.
Did the fire answer you?
The fire does not answer me. Let's show some respect here, okay?
It said pew, 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 pew.
So everyone is in, and
pew, pew, pew. It's the fire, Rob.
Oh, sorry, Rob.
It's talking to you.
It is cramped. You're sitting. You can't even sit Indian style because there's not enough room. And this was the biggest challenge for me because I'm such a fucking giant. Like my nuts are being squeezed by my legs. And like the crease in the back of your knees.
Yes.
Like if you sit too long, you just like really have to stretch it out. But there was nowhere to stretch out. And that became kind of the mental battle more so than dealing with the heat. Now, the people that went before, like the crew that I was with, they were like, oh, it gets more hot than you can even imagine. And I was like, I've been to Schwitz's, I can handle it. And it's 4 15-minute sessions. You go in, there's a 15-minute session. It's basically, so there's a person who declares their intentions. Not everyone gets to speak, but a few people will, like I hope to be more compassionate and more love for the earth and take care of the earth, things like that. Very good intentions, and then you kind of you like, instead of saying amen, you say o Mateo, which I believe is a Mexican, in the lore, like a Mexican god.
I thought it was like a restaurant right off the Belt Parkway by Cross Island. There was a restaurant called O Mateo's. You know what I'm talking about, Sid.
I think so.
Sid,
What are you talking
would
about?
you? There's a real. That's a Mateo, not O Mateo. Rob, Sid, what would you say into the fire? What would be your mental?
My intention is I'd like to have some elote with my dinner tonight. Hopefully, I can find some good elote. And yeah, that's about it. I'm otherwise
your
just
intention?
get
What
the
would your
fuck out of
intention be,
here as
Darren?
soon as I can.
Not get diarrhea on this trip.
Did anybody fart? Was it like a yoga kind of thing where people are just passing gas throughout? Rob?
No.
I mean,
I walked into another disrespectful moment, by the way.
Yeah.
This show.
I mentions Rob says show some respect, but also says native and Indian style. I guess Indian style is an outdated term as well.
I was gonna say you've been canceled in the chat again.
Oh no! Oh no!
But you could run into a conflict. I feel, because like, what if one person, their intention is to like fart less or something, and then the other person is just like, I just need to fart, like I just need to let this gas out, and then but the other people in there have to endure the gas then. So you
right. Well, the answer is people take it much more seriously than you do, and wouldn't do that. So
if you take something seriously, your body shuts down and you no longer have gas.
The intention isn't. No one's going to say, "I want to fart less." That's not the type of intention.
But that's a respectful person.
Come on.
Well,
you said you want to take care of the earth. If I stopped farting, that would really do a lot to help the environment.
True.
Come on. So the first session was fine, and it was good. I really liked it. And then in the second session, I remember it's certainly starting getting a little more steamier. And at one point, it got so steamy that I barely could see past myself. Like I could see the person next to me, but I could not see the person, anything beyond them.
Oh.
And so it becomes, you really have to focus on just breathing and not focus on the discomfort. And that's that I think it's a really interesting challenge where you really learn a lot about your own willpower. And I remember in the second one, the shaman asks for you to close your eyes and thank your ancestors, because we want to thank our ancestors, because
Uncle Gavin, thank you. Mama Robin,
without them,
Uncle Fossil,
none of us would be here right now. And then she goes, think of your grandmother.
Oh no, you hate your grandmother.
That's right. So I've had some issues, and so think of what they would say to you if they were here right now. Yeah. And I actually had a good internal laugh, because I was like, if my grandma was here right now, she would be like, you fucking brought me back for this?
Yeah.
I'm sweating my ass.
By you listing off all those names, I realized there's like a whole Rob cinematic universe of family members on this show. Right. Some really real and some imagined.
But
and they all showed up to irritate him while he was trying to meditate.
I will say, as I was doing the meditation, she kept bringing up my grandmother, and she kept saying all these things, and it got to a point where I genuinely am now at peace with my grandmother. Like, I'm not. It actually got a little emotional for me at some points too. Not necessarily that, but she was just saying, think of your family, think of all of this stuff, and it gets very, very intense, because if you don't focus on what she's saying, you're focusing on how hot you are, and then you're not having any, you've lost the game, essentially, because the whole thing is you're supposed to block out the heat. You're supposed to just focus on your breathing and focus on the moment. And so that was the second one. And after the second one, my sister was like, "Hey, do you want to get out?" And I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm good." Because again, after every session, they open the door and you can step out for a second to catch your breath, or if you're overheating, whatever. They don't want you to pass out. They want this to be an enjoyable experience. So I said I was all right, and then almost 1 minute into the third session, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should have got out. The reason I was great, I was okay, is because for the second session, enough people got out where I actually could spread my legs, and that was like, oh, I'm good. I don't need to do anything. I just could spread my legs. But then they all got back in, right back to the discomfort. And at this point, it got next level, because so on the top of the hut, there is a window and there's light coming out of it. And it's basically the moonlight, or symbolically the moonlight. For this third session, they cover the hut, they cover the door. You are essentially in complete darkness. It is a claustrophobe's nightmare. And on top of that, it was the hottest. It was now at a level of heat where I was like, oh, this is what they were talking about. This is really, really bad. And literally, like, at the moment that I'm like, I'm not sure I can do this. I'm not sure, like, I need to get out of here, whatever. Like it's like the shaman, she was talking directly to me, because she was like, fight through the heat, you can make it, like embrace your willpower. I don't remember exactly the thing she said. This was a few days ago now, but I just remember, like, she said exactly the right thing that I needed to hear, to be like, okay, I can still do this. I'm just going to focus on my breathing. And then I was trying to do my intention in the sense of, I started thinking like, okay, this will all be over soon. Like, it's just going to be another 5 minutes, And then I'm like, wait, no, Rob, you got to be present. You're in the, you got to be in the moment. You can't think of like, this will be done soon. You have to like experience this. And it felt so empowering to talk myself off that ledge and sit there and deal with it. And, and I made it. It was fine. It wasn't that bad. And then I got out after the third one. I had to get out at that point, because it was like my heart was racing. It got really, really intense. And then they kind of give you like I almost had an ice bucket challenge. There was no ice, but it was like a cold bath that they pour a cold bucket of water over your head to cool you down. And man, I got my ass in that water, because it felt great. It felt so.
Your ass in this water.
It felt so good. It felt so good. And then it felt good. And then you go back in the fourth session, somehow even hotter. But at this point, it was like much more tolerable, and it was an amazing experience. Also, I sweat out maybe like 5 to 10 pounds of sweat. At the end of the session, like towards the end of the fourth session, I tried to put my hands down on the ground to kind of reposition myself a little bit, to get a little bit of a stretch. And I felt there was puddles on the ground of sweat. But it was a really, really unique and intense experience, and I enjoyed it greatly.
Imagine if you had done this several years ago. You would have been able to use these techniques during all these lame like bands that you had to interview.
Oh my God.
Just be more present.
Yeah, just be in the moment, not zone out.
And my skin felt beautiful after. It was just great. All my pores expanded. It was the most intense schwitz. Also, when it's complete darkness, you don't really know what's going on. You just hear what's going on. And at some point, like there was those herbs. They're like smacking the herbs against the coal, and then these herbs are kind of like hitting you, and you're like, what?
This is like oregano. What's going on here? Are they making a pizza pie?
No, it's like
focaccia.
Delicious.
But it was great. It was one of the most unique experiences that I've done. And if you find yourself in Mexico, I don't think this is just something that happens in Tulum. I think it's a Mexican tradition. I would highly, recommend doing it if you can handle the heat.
If you like forcing yourself into discomfort for pretty much no actual reason, then yeah,
I had spiritual growth and mental growth out of it, and I feel like
if you believe the concept of spiritual growth is an actual thing, then go for it.
Yeah.
If you believe spirits are an actual thing, unlike Sid, who doesn't.
Yeah.
He has no spirit.
If you just want to sit in a room next to strangers and maybe they take your wallet, you don't know. Maybe they start rubbing your feet.
None of that happened. Everyone was very nice, and
you should have robbed someone, Rob. It's your name, for God's sake. You should do it more often.
You're disgusting, Sid.
What would the shaman say to that, Sid?
Yeah.
Well, you said the shaman was a lady?
Yes. There's a few shamans, but the one that guided us was a lady.
And it's still shaman, or is it Shaw woman?
Shaw person?
I don't think it comes from man, the word shaman.
It'd be funny if it did, though.
Sheeman.
So I guess Amateo is I just looked it up. It's a name used to refer to a pair of Aztec deities. I can't read the deities' names.
Enbaluluguga.
I'll throw them in the chat.
They're the gods of making tourists pay for dumb stuff.
Okay. I really love when I share things with you that had a profound impact on me. And
come on,
and
Rob.
Sid, you call it dumb stuff. Thanks, Sid. I appreciate it.
Rob, I want you to
that really helps me want to bring more and share more.
Rob really did look angry while you were teasing him there. I thought because you kept cutting him off and he's telling this deep story about his spiritual awakening. And you're just like, did anybody fart? No.
I've got practical concerns in my mind.
He was boiling now more than he was boiling in the cave.
Yeah, Rob, I'm the one giving you the real spiritual journey.
I want to watch that video.
Yeah, it's actually very difficult for me to be present right now and not think about how much I want to go to New York and beat you the fuck up.
Just like tobacco cave smoke coming out of his ears.
I thought that was just from the vape.
Yeah, could be.
Rob, really though, pronounce those words that you just put into the chat. Try your best.
Ometekuli,
I would say.
Ometekutal.
Ometekutli and Omekewatl.
Okay.
I don't know that that's correct, but that's what I know of phonetic pronunciation of those languages. That's a good guess.
So what's on the docket for tonight, Rob? After we're done podcasting, what does the rest of your night look like?
Probably just gonna have dinner somewhere in town. Just go to.
Is there Yelp down there? How do you know what places are recommended?
There is Yelp. There is a version of Seamless called Tomato, or like Grubhub type thing. Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, there's fucking American tourists. They're gonna do anything to cater to that.
It's true.
So like if it involves taking tourist money, they'll figure it out. That's basically the entire economy here.
You were telling me that
explained.
You were telling me there's a bunch of like armed militiamen walking around because like
some
Americans got gunned down a year ago or something, and so they brought in a bunch of people with guns.
Yeah, so there was some cartel stuff happening in the area, and I guess there was a big shootout last year, and some gringos got shot, and that's bad for tourism. So they're not gonna have that. So now there's just dudes with military assault rifles just walking down the street singing "Do-a diddy diddy dum diddy do."
Oh no,
they're not. But it's very. I mean, it feels. As a New Yorker, I'm used to it because you would see it at train stations or something like that. But it was still a little jarring in a way to kind
They said they would just point at the drink counter, pointing out what they wanted with the gun.
Yeah, this one guy was so blasé with it. He was like, "Yeah, like I'll have this papaya juice," and he pointed with his tiny little Uzi. Like, I'll show you a photo. Like I snuck in a photo of one of one of the guards. Hopefully they'll let me out of the country after showing this. I mean, I'm not. But hold on.
I think they're monitoring our stream right now.
Are you sure?
And I'm not sure. Maybe AMLO is watching this.
They were alerted because they were told an American was doing hate speech about them, on a podcast, so they had to check in.
I called it in. Rob, sorry.
Here's the photo. These guys are all over. Look at this. So the one that I told Aaron about that was like pointing. His gun was like half the size, but he was still same shape. But,
I mean, a gun half that size can still blow a hole in your head. So
yeah.
If you point at the papaya
I guess,
and shoot in the wrong direction.
They are here for our protection, but I would not want to be caught in any friendly fire.
I don't trust.
They're here to dissuade any cartels from starting shit, I guess.
They're not really there for your protection. They're to protect the money that you're bringing into the economy.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, 100%. 100%. Without question.
About you.
But who's attached to the money? Me.
Until you're not.
Yeah. Until you give it to the masseuse.
Also, the ATMs are pretty funky here. One almost ate my card. It was a scary moment. Like I put in my ATM card, and then the screen shut off.
Oh no! You're like, we got one. Yes, finally.
Yeah.
We got an American one.
I mean, I wasn't afraid that I was going to get robbed. I mean, I have enough protection from my bank for that not to happen. I was just afraid I wouldn't have a debit card, and then I wouldn't be able to have cash because this is a very cash-based town or pesos-based town.
You're lucky, man. In some countries, there's just you put in your card, and then there's like an arm that comes out and takes your organs out, like right on the spot. It's not even really an ATM.
What does Rob need a liver for?
How's the weed in Tulum? It's all right. I can't say it's as good as New York, but I mean, it's getting the job done. It's a nice. When I get home at night, I have a nice little something.
Weren't you gonna do other stuff besides weed?
I haven't done anything. I wasn't able to do anything too wild. Actually, during the Temescal ceremony, it was actually a very special night because the medicine man came. And they said for the first time in 3 years, he brought medicine and they were going to share it with us. And it was actually, again, a very nice little moment because this was the male shaman in the room. There were two shamans guiding it. The male shaman went on a whole rant about how they're not going to charge us for the medicine because medicine shouldn't be something you charge for. Everyone should have access to medicine. And I was like, yeah, workers' rights, socialist power, let's go.
What a concept.
And it turned out to be a little bit peyote. But not enough to like hallucinate, but certainly enough to get my heart rate going. So that's fun. But not other than that, nothing too exotic. A lot of
fairly exotic. It's exotic enough.
Mm-hmm.
Was it now, just to be technical about it, was it like technically peyote, or was it like that's just what you're calling any hallucinogenic, or was it actually peyote?
No, it was actually peyote. It was it was like a drink. It was like a tea. Mm-hmm. With like
peyote,
like green pulp in it, which I assume is the peyote.
Oh,
okay. I guess they're just handing you random chunky drinks that you're downing.
Yeah. They're
not gonna hurt you, right?
I guess we'll find out.
We sweat it out anyway.
Fair. So this was before the sweating?
This was in the second quarter or whatever. So I was already well into the sweating.
What were you wearing during the sweating?
A bathing suit.
So you were topless.
Speedo.
Short shorts.
Big Show singlet.
No singlet. No top.
Shoes, socks.
No.
Okay. Wow.
Barefoot.
Which was another thing because the ground was like rocks and it was very uneven. And so at some point when I was out of the inside the sweat lodge, it's flat, but outside is the rocks and it's like hard to balance yourself. with my
Where'd you
giant
put your
fucking feet.
shoes?
There's just a place to leave your shit. So we could have been robbed.
Yeah.
Everyone there could have been robbed, but it's a safe
Take me
place.
back. I'll rob all the motherfuckers next time while you're in there sweating.
It would be you
split
and that
it.
tall girl that ran out, and then you'd be like, all right, honey, here's the plan.
Yeah. And then I'd rob her also.
Dusty Rhodes Muffler says, did you bring a Bam Bam Bigelow onesie?
I didn't. I left my Bam Bam Bigelow onesie at home.
He did have some flames on his head, though, after that sweat lodge.
Rob, how difficult would it have been for you to focus and be in the moment if the person sitting across from you was in a Bam Bam Bigelow onesie the whole time? Like
I wouldn't be able to see them. You can't. There's too much risk.
He might have hallucinated.
They were there. You walked in with them.
He might have had a spiritual tunnel to the afterlife and talked to Bam Bam Bigelow with all the shit that was going on there.
Fair point. Yeah, so that's basically my experience so far. Right?
Him and
a day and a half left.
Oh,
should be fun.
But then you're going on another vacation. It's not like you're coming home.
Well, yeah, I'm going to LA, and then that's going to be more low key. I'm not going to be doing something every day. I don't think.
No sweat lodge in LA.
No sweat lodge in LA, to the best of my knowledge. Although, also, I'm not sure if I want to do that again. Maybe my sister's going next week. She's totally into it, and she already went one time before. But for me, one was enough for now.
Oh, there's a good question in the chat. Is there going to be a shrimp off too?
I have not made any plans with Livecast stars, but I'm available if we want to.
Let's do it.
We can figure out a date in our Discord chat.
And I am going to officiate this time. You just put me on a little camera on a phone, FaceTime, and just prop it up on the table, and because you fucked it up last time. The rules.
Maybe each of you FaceTime, one of you FaceTimes Darren, one of you FaceTimes me, and we could each do an official count for that one person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or we'll just do a Twitch stream at the time, and
my god,
we'll just be on it.
That would be amazing. A little bonus mini episode.
Yeah.
We'll have to find a bubblegum shrimp with good Wi-Fi.
Or an actual restaurant that serves edible food.
Well, the whole point, it was all you can eat shrimp.
But there's got to be other places that have something similar that aren't Bubba Gump. Go to Red Lobster.
About Sizzler. Sizzler? Any Sizzlers left?
Are there Sizzlers yet?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh, someone ZP says there's plenty of places here. All right, we'll see.
Well, you're the Angelinos, so you have to suggest them. He says, they say that.
I am going to be in LA. We would always meet up during NAMM weekend, which is why we have to do it in Anaheim, which is where I was. But I'm going to be in LA, so it'll be a much easier trip for everyone.
Is that the artist known as Douglas Levison in our Discord? Okay. Now I know. I didn't want to misgender them.
In Culver City. So Douglas, would you come out if we do a meetup? Douglas Levison, ZP guitarist. El Dorito mentions that Bubba Gump has better quality than Sizzler.
Actually, he said Sizzler. I just want to point out.
I want to go to the Sizzler. That sounds better than either of these places.
It's nothing like a nice sizzling steak. Right out the oven. Right out the oven.
Deuterino should come and bring his fiance. Have a little.
Oh yeah, I'd love to meet her.
Her official introduction.
She disappeared from the chat.
Yeah.
She was all over it for like 2 weeks. You're right there.
Some Mexican Pepsi. That's the other thing. All the stuff that we know and love tastes way better here.
I can't.
Soda tastes better.
It just has too much. I can't drink. I just noticed, even the things that taste great that have tons of sugar in them that I love, like cakes and stuff. I just maybe it's because I'm older now, but it has much worse effect on me, just mentally.
Sugar definitely hits me harder. It's just going on. Oh, some drama in the chat. El Deuterino asks, Are you going to gang up on her again? She felt bullied.
Oh my God. She was so antagonistic in the chat.
Mm.
And I took it
So
as
that's
playful.
your excuse for bullying her?
I definitely did not bully her. She was bullying people, if anything. But I took it as playful.
Oh,
I just thought it was like, you know. I took it as playful. I thought she was joking around.
That's typically what an abuser would say. You're the abuser.
I barely interacted with her.
Own up to your drama.
Sure.
Like, accept her truth, Karen. Do not gaslight her.
Right. She's welcome back in. I have no problem.
I won't say anything mean about Kobe Bryant again. I promise.
Oh, that was the other thing. That was her trigger.
Points out that the Discord is a safe space. What was the other thing? She talked about Kobe Bryant.
Yeah. She liked Kobe Bryant a lot, and Sid said that he was a rapist, which is correct.
Mm.
And that we shouldn't glorify him just because he died, because he was a rapist.
Yeah.
I see.
It was sad that his daughter died, though, that she had to go down.
Yeah.
And whoever else died there. But yeah. Don't
well,
cry.
I don't think I bullied her, El Dorino, so I'd love to meet her.
No one bullied her. I want to point that out.
Let's talk in the Discord about it. And of course, you can join our Discord. It's in our episode description, the link for the Discord. We'd love to hang out with you. We're on there all the time, sharing links, sharing jokes, sharing laughs, sharing commentary about the episode after it airs, further epilogues about it. So definitely hit up our Discord. And last week, Darren, you had a story. Let's get to your story, Darren.
Oh, I don't know that this is even a story. I just meant while you were in the sweat lodge, I was doing some sweating too, because I had this worst constipation that I've ever had in my life. Like, I couldn't, like, do you know when you have to go to the bathroom and it just feels like you have to go to the bathroom? You get some stomach pains and, it's time to go.
Yep.
I had that, but then nothing would come out, and I was like constant pain for like 6 hours. And I don't know what caused that. I think I might have eaten something bad, and then I took a laxative. I took some X-Lax. The X-Lax didn't work. I took some Miralax, and I was just kind of like back and forth to the toilet. All right, this is gonna be the time. This is it. This is it. And then like a little shit squirt, and then like nothing. Like nothing. And it was so demoralizing. Like, it's so, I can't express to you the frustration of like having to go take a shit and you cannot do it. So eventually it finally just I still feel like I was telling you before the show, I feel a little tender.
Well, if you got to run, we understand.
No, I know.
Get the runs.
I've been regular the last few days, so I feel like I go but it's still a little watery, but it's not terrible. But yeah, it was just very sad. Like, I was like, I feel like I can't leave the house, because what if this is the time and then I'm just gonna shit myself when I'm outside? I had no. Oh, Dusty Rose Muffler says 3D needs Hello Tushy. What's that?
I know Tushy is like a porn series. I don't know what Hello Tushy is.
Is Tushy the? It's a bidet.
Hello Tushy is a bidet?
Yep, I'm loading the website.
But what is that? How is that going to help him with constipation?
I've never had that. I've told you on this show, I've shared many personal stories about shitting.
Yeah.
And it's always been, I have to go. I have to go when I have to go, and I can't hold it ever.
I guess he's saying the Tushy, the water will spray up and hopefully clear up his butthole to open it up. I don't know what he's saying.
My butthole's open for business. Let's go. Just come on.
Proof. Turn around right now. Show it. Stick it in the camera. Put it on the glass.
It's just a butthole. There's nothing interesting about it.
Someone in the comments wants to know if it was a big log.
No, I haven't had a solid log in like a week, because it's all water and then like nothing for like 3 days, and now let's come out. It's like little M&Ms. Awful.
What could it have been that you ate? Did you eat something out of the ordinary?
No, I mean, everything I cooked thoroughly. I used the meat thermometer, and nothing tasted foul or bad or off, but it has to be that. I had a meal with my mom, and she got she has an iron constitution, and she got a little bit of diarrhea too. So it's like so I got it worse because I ate more, obviously, because I'm 3 times her size, and also she has a much better constitution than I do. So I'm assuming we ate the same bad thing. But it's just conjecture. No, I'm not that dumb.
Prawn roll at the sushi bar at the beach.
Didn't have that.
Darren's not a shrimp guy.
Yeah, I wouldn't. That might fuck up my stomach, to be honest, but I didn't eat that. My body would just go, what the fuck are you putting in here? What is this?
And why is there sand in it?
Yeah. What is this, a rusty nail? I don't recognize this object. It's error. 404. Well, I'm okay now, more or less. A little discomfort, but I'm very tired. I didn't leave my house for like 4 or 5 days. Well, sorry that was a bummer, Rob. You told such an inspiring story about spiritual awakening, and then I talked about
unfortunately, Sid couldn't make any fart jokes about it because it was about farts.
Yeah, I found Darren's story much more uplifting.
You should have made shaman jokes about my fart story.
Charmin.
Yes, the shaman said to me. The shaman was always there guiding me. I heard her voice.
You just wipe with some sage.
Tobacco.
Soften you right up.
I threw some tobacco on my asshole fire.
Just stick like a peyote suppository up there. Your asshole will think it's like hallucinating.
I don't think I want my sphincter to hallucinate.
Rob, we got some emails this week, didn't we? We should go through some of these emails.
That was shit stories are the livecast, says Min the cool dude. Min the cool dude. It's a tradition.
Yes, it's true.
Deuterino asks, what days are you going to be in LA again, Rob? I'm going to be there this Sunday for 14 days through 2 weeks.
Can I just ask? Oh, sorry, Rob.
Go ahead.
I wanted to ask some of the people in the chat right now, maybe so we can sort through who's who in the Discord by who your Twitch handles are. Like I know most of you are probably longtime listeners, but I don't recognize some of the handles. So if you don't mind, you can just say what we would know you as if you're in the chat a lot.
So yeah, last week I obviously revealed a lot about myself here on the show. It was quite a relief to do so. And I want to thank everyone that reached out to me after. Everyone was super supportive. I didn't really have any expectations on how the listeners and the viewers, the livecast stars, would react. But not that I was assuming it would be negative, but I was pleasantly touched, very much touched, metaphorically speaking. Sid,
pleasantly touched.
I was very much touched by all the lovely messages, the very sweet messages that everyone sent. I read all of them. I tried to respond to as many as I could. And I do want to thank you if you took a moment to reach out and say something because it was very, very touching. I mean, it meant a lot to me. And we did say that, for some people who weren't listening live, that if you had any questions or anything, you could always email riplivecast@gmail.com, and that email is still live. If this week we said something that you have a question about, if you want to learn about the Temescal ceremony and have any other questions, feel free, riplivecast@gmail.com. So we got some emails, and I'd like to read a few of them. So we got one from Israeli guy. He goes, first of all, Rob, congratulations for your outing. It's not that seems like a weird phrasing, but
outing is when you do it to someone against their will, I feel like.
It does take a lot of courage still today to come out, and I'm very proud of you. Well, thank you. I didn't necessarily feel courageous, but I appreciate the kind sentiment. Israeli guy continues, I think there were some hints over the years. You never talked about your partners on the show while everyone else did, but your attempt with Noah masked that completely, I think. He says, and also it may explain your tolerance to the famous, hi guys. which of course started by Rebecca Moore. And I do want to mention that, yes, I found Rebecca Moore through gay Twitter. Rebecca Moore got super famous through gay Twitter, and that's how I learned about her and brought her to the show, to the straight Twitter. Through, or I guess ambiguous Twitter.
Better left over there.
By the way, it's nice to be on your handsome list as Israeli guy. He says, oh, and also he mentions Rob. Also, Rob leaving Metal Injection looks like a very big step. I wish you to be happy and enjoy your fresh start. And it seems with COVID is a time for change with no leaving and all the rest. But you guys still make a great show, and I love it. Well, thank you,
we love you too.
Israeli guy. And yeah, I guess we didn't mention on the show, but yeah, I did announce that I'm going to be leaving Metal Injection, or I'm transitioning out of my role there, and I'm excited for the next step in my journey. And that's also part of the reason why we changed the name of the show, to kind of be independent of the website, since I was going to be leaving. I just couldn't mention it at the time, but I want to be upfront with all of you guys as to why that happened.
Soros finally had enough of you.
Soros was like, "You're done, Rob. You're not doing a good enough job."
He sounds like Trump.
Yeah.
They finally fired Rabba. That's right. Finally fired.
You're gonna be like Alex Skulnick soon, looking for a job.
Please don't post rap videos, Rob.
Fuck Trump.
I thought that's where Darren was going. It was like, we start doing white boy raps.
Well, he backed off of "Fuck Trump," so you can take up the mantle and do the "Fuck Trump" song.
Mm-hmm.
Did he back off? That might be his next one.
That's true.
One thing I was blown away by, not like blown away by, but like really, when I was in customs here in Mexico, right in front of me online was a family, a couple with different masks that both said in different designs, "Let's go, Brandon." And I was just blown away that someone was so passionate about this. I was like, maybe there was a sale, but no, you had to order this online. Like, this is too new for there to be a sale. They order these fucking masks. It's like, come on, bro.
I see that. That's just culture war, stupid culture war shit. Like,
it's dumb.
I see it both ways. Like,
yeah, I agree.
But her emails, coffee mugs,
just as annoying. Exactly. Or if the mask said Kafifi, it would be just as I would have thought it was just as stupid. Dusty Rose Muffler writes, now Rob doesn't have to pretend to like metal. I don't think I ever pretended. I actually like metal. I bought tickets to see Slipknot, paid with my hard-earned money.
You don't have to pretend to like shitty metal, though.
Min the cool dude says, what are you going to do? Anything online? I have no idea what I'm going to do. I'm still trying to figure it out. I have a few ideas and talking to a few people, but no solid plans just yet other than keeping to do the podcasts.
I thought when you said you went to the Sweat Lodge, I thought you were going to say that was the reason why, so you could figure out your next career path. But
oh, no, I don't. It wouldn't be anything like that.
Maybe if you return, you can.
Maybe on my, yeah. So let's go to another question or another email. This is from Carrie, a longtime listener. Carrie, Livecast crew, just wanted to send a shout out to say, Rob, I'm so thrilled you're happy, and thank you for being open, honest, and vulnerable on the Livecast. Thank you. I was driving by myself when listening to the Hickey Reveal episode and shouted my congrats to no one when you shared the news. I've been listening for a little over 5 years, and y'all have seen me through some really rough times and some weeks. The Livecast has been one of my only bright spots. I'm better now, by the way. Well, that makes us happy to hear that you're doing better, and that is a huge compliment, I think, to us for you saying that we were the only bright spot in your shitty week. That really, honestly, like stuff like that, I feel is why I keep doing the show. And then Carrie also talks about our big pizza discussion last week. I'm from Missouri and can say I'm neutral about St. Louis pizza. Unrelated, my proximity to St. Louis allows me to go to the Royal Rumble, which was fun. Oh, that's great. Carrie ends by saying, I hope one day to travel to New York and try a New York City slice or 2 or 7. Much love to you all. Well, Carrie, if you do, we'll take you on a pizza tour.
Unless you're on another vacation.
Oh, unless I'm on another occasion.
Yeah.
Well, no, then you and Darren will take her.
Sure, but she wrote the letter to you. She likes you more than the rest of us.
Let's not be
It
so
wouldn't be the
hasty.
same without Rabba.
Maybe you would FaceTime me.
Okay.
Do we have to get
do a
Noah back for this?
So then we have one from Kayla. And Kayla writes, "Hi, Livecast. Edgelord is here." I guess I should have said it. Edgelord is here. It's been a while since I wrote to you guys, and I'd call in, but I'm very shy and always afraid that Sid would make fun of me. So much bullying. First from Darren, then from Sid. Come on, guys. Come on, guys.
Didn't bully anybody.
And bullying and gaslighting, right? They go hand in hand.
Yes, and they go hand in hand away from me because I didn't do any of those things.
Come on, guys.
Thank you. Drop a Robba. I want to congratulate Rob for coming out. Though I had always had a crush on you since the moment I started listening to you guys back in 2017. You will always be in my heart. Well, I'm sorry that the Edgelord, I only like you as a friend. and believe me, it's not you. It's very much me. On a separate note, I have a question for all of you. I recently started a music podcast, and I'm wondering, how do I make my co-hosts less awkward? Me and my co-hosts less awkward. We have chemistry, but there's just a lot of weird moments that I end up cutting out before posting. I was wondering, how long did it take to get a smoother flow? Also, how do I promote my podcast to a wider audience?
We had a bit of a runway where we had an experimental radio show in college, so that allowed us to have. But I also think we just had good chemistry right off the bat, and I don't think we've ever thought about it too much, to be honest with you. Especially like when I first met Rob, I feel like our chemistry, just talking to each other in real life, gave us the idea for me to join Rob's radio show. So I feel like that was sort of worked in reverse a little bit. And then Sid came on. Sid was just fit right in like a jigsaw piece, So we all we just work with each other really well. We may be the wrong people to ask, because I just think we don't think about this too much, and it just happens, But I don't know if you guys have any thoughts.
I mean, for me, like we did like at the beginning have issues of like talking over each other and stuff like that, and that just goes away with time. The more you do it, the more you sort of get into a flow of it, and it's not a big deal. So that's really it. Just keep doing it.
Yeah,
figure out what works.
To say, like, you didn't hear how awkward it was because we spent 3 years doing a show on college radio where we kind of honed our chemistry before we even started this podcast. And even that, like, we've been doing it for 12 to 13 years now, or however long it's been. So it takes a really long time. And like you said, you're editing anyway. So you're editing the awkward parts anyway. So you're good until it gets comfortable enough where you don't have to do it. So it's just repetition. It's like building muscles. The more reps you do, the more familiar it gets.
And also a good tip is to when we do this show, I only think of how it's going to be received by the two of you, or three when Noah was here, And I don't I look at it as, I know we have certain fans that think like we do, and they're going to like what we do. And I'm not trying to talk to a bunch of other people. I feel like my goal is if I can make the two of you laugh, then it's successful. And I know a lot of people are gonna like it. So I think that's a good thing, is to have tunnel vision and just do a show with someone who has the same ethos as you and same sense of humor, and talk to them, and just talk to them. And then people who are like-minded people will listen and like it. And then people who are opposite of you might listen and find it controversial or whatever you're going for. But always, your audience, you should not be consciously talking to an audience, because I think that when I hear that makes a podcast very lame.
Yeah. One more email.
And as for getting more listeners and just making your show more popular, I find it helps to have a friend who runs a very successful website that you could put the podcast on. Then the rest figures itself out. So just do that.
Where do we find one of those?
I hear there's a certain Pepe G that is
Oh,
Yeah, there's
running a
website
website that could use a podcast.
because Rob got fired from Metal Injection.
Yeah, you could just fill our void.
Oh, look at this!
But,
Can you just put up this comment two from the bottom in the chat? It's fascinating to me.
Min the Cool Dude says, "You guys are one reason I'm no longer religious and I'm more progressive."
It's wonderful.
Well, that's great to hear.
I'm very proud of that.
Yeah.
Thank
Let us
you.
know why.
We get Min to drop religion, and then all of a sudden you're going on spiritual sweat quests. Min doesn't know what to believe.
It's non-religious. There was nothing religious about
the
it.
betrayal, Rob. The absolute betrayal.
There's nothing. There's nothing religious about connecting with Mother Earth. Okay, Sydney. The Earth is what gives us life. We can actually, see the results of connecting with Mother Earth. Earth exists.
What are the results? Oh, it's Niazi. Oh shit! Whoa!
Oh my God! Long time no see, Niazi.
Holy shit!
So yeah, that's
wow.
Niazi, you were like you came for college, right? Right, like you were in college.
Saudi Arabian, I believe, correct?
Don't call him a native, Rob. Whatever you do, don't call him a native.
All right.
He's a Native American now.
We got to wrap up, so let me just get through this.
Okay.
This other one. So Jeremy says, "Hi guys. So for this week's show, I wanted to submit a series of questions in case other people ask. So there's variety." He says, "With Rob's coming out, were there any surprising reactions, like ones he wasn't expecting, good or bad?" I just remember I was surprised at how supportive everyone was when I told everyone, and then being surprised that I was surprised because I was like, these are my friends. Yeah. Like, why wouldn't they be? I was just so in my head about being closeted and just being ashamed of it that I don't know how I thought people would react, but I guess that would have been the surprise.
Was there any negativity from anyone, or was it universally supportive and positive?
I mean, no,
you don't have to name names, but not even like
all my friends were great about it. And yeah, nobody negative.
Even the guys from the Red Cord were cool with it.
One of them, Gunface, wrote a very positive tweet last week about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, he tagged the Livecast in it. How long was the departure from Metal Injection Brewing? Was it a spontaneous step down or over a long period of time? It was a long period of time. It wasn't like I woke up one day and I was like, that's it, I'm done, and I quit. It was like, I'm ready. I think I'm about ready to move on. And I was ready to move on for a while, but I, was kind of waiting for the right opportunity to do so. And now is it. Besides the podcast, do you intend besides the podcast you intend to continue doing, what are any ideas you'd like to explore for your new journey? I have no idea. That's
the Sweat Lodge was for.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about now. How do you feel if Frank scores the .com instead of the .net?
Oh my God!
I would. That would be a bummer that all these years later, Frank takes over and he gets the .com. With your reveal last week, would you consider, with both of your charismatic personalities, reviving the Cock Destroyer duo with Rebecca Moore? It would be an honor to collaborate.
Well, what would
with
that
Rebecca
be
Moore.
exactly?
I would be
her?
We would just redo that bit. It would be the one
and do porn scenes.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
he's looking for work.
I'll fluff the guys that she's banging. I don't know.
Will you do any post fluffing? Like once they finished with her? Do you want that portion of it, or only when they're clean?
I don't understand.
Like when they have her ass juice all over their dicks.
Uh-huh.
Will you fluff that, or is that unsanitary?
Will you be the paper towel guy?
Yeah, I need to get like a Kleenex wipe or like a wet wipe to wipe down there. A dude wipe to wipe down their penis
Santorum
of the ass juices. Niazi says he's back in Saudi Arabia. Well, glad to have you as a listener, Niazi, all these years. Long-time listener. That's awesome. So I guess that's all the questions from the email. And again, I got a lot of really, really, really nice personal messages. I don't really want to share too many of them.
Is there anyone you're disappointed you didn't get a personal message from?
No, I had no expectations on getting messages, so everything was above my expectations. And so yeah, I guess we're winding down the show. So let's talk about the playlist.
I know one person though who didn't write to you. It was very disappointing for me anyway. I don't know how you felt about it.
SHLOMOCHOINE.
He is back in the Discord sometimes, but I don't think he mentioned anything about last week's episode.
He's very progressive though. He probably supports your coming out.
Yeah, so every week on our RAPL Livecast music break, we each pick a song and we add it to the playlist. The playlist is called the RAPL Livecast music break. You can search for it on Spotify and get access to all the songs we pick. It's a really, really fun playlist and just gets more fun by the day. This week I picked a track from The Weeknd called Sacrifice. I believe it's one of the singles.
I think so.
Dawn FM is the new album from The Weeknd. It came out in January, and I've been listening to it so much. It's so great. I'm so impressed with The Weeknd. He's able to blend R&B and like rock guitar and pop music in a way that I feel pop stars haven't really been doing for a really long time. And I feel it's music that a fan of any genre could really get into. Like, I guess if you only listen to brutal death metal, I can see how The Weeknd isn't for you. But if you like synth wave and dark wave and stuff like that, there's really, really great synth wave production on this album. And like I said, I can't stop listening to it. And Sacrifice is one of my favorite songs. It's hard to pick just one, but it's definitely one of them. And Best Friends is really good too. But yeah, that's my song. Darren, what did you pick?
Well, I picked Weird Al Yankovic, my second time in the last month or so. The song is called Truck Driving Song because of that truck.
Oh, no.
That's in the news. And it's like a style parody, not a specific song, but just in the style of those outlaw country songs like Waylon Jennings, C.W. McCall, songs about driving trucks and running away from the cops. But it's about a trucker who wears like Angora sweaters and lipstick and high heels, just like Ed Wood. It's very cool song. And yeah, that's it. It's wonderful. You should listen to it. He sings it in a very rich baritone.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, what did you pick?
Well, a couple weeks ago, I picked a Jawbox song because I bought tickets to see them in concert coming up. And I also bought tickets to see Jawbreaker in concert a couple months after.
Oh, wow.
So today I picked they're doing, both of them are doing shows where they play albums in their entirety. So Jawbreaker is doing the entire Dear You album, which is my favorite one of theirs. Ooh. And so I picked a song off of that called Accident Prone, one of the darker tracks.
All right. And okay, so that's our music picks. I guess all that's left is to talk about our Patreon. If you love the show, if you want to support us, if you want to get a little more content, 2 bonus episodes a month on our Patreon, patreon.com/RAPLivecast. $5 a month gets you the 2 bonus episodes, Sits column, and some other fun extras every once in a while. At the top of the month, we posted an amazing episode. We watched Judge Steve Harvey. We watched 5 cases. Barely made it through the 5 cases, but we did it. And it was really fun. It was a very fun experience. And we think you would enjoy it greatly. And I believe before the next show on the 15th, we have another Patreon going up. I just don't remember what did we do.
I believe it's what is that, Money Plane? What's the name of that movie?
Yes. Okay.
Edge.
Thank you. Oh my God, Money Plane. This movie, I have to say, I really love when we do watch-alongs of bad movies because there's so much to make fun of, and this is the perfect movie to do a watch-along of. So it's Edge, Kelsey Grammer, Joey Lawrence, Denise,
and the entire Lawrence family.
8 Lawrence brothers are in this.
And what's his name? Thomas Jane as well. Like lots of people.
That's right.
Thomas Jane is the only person in this movie who gives a shit that he's in this movie, and he tries really hard.
Well, I think Edge tries. He's just not necessarily the best actor.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this as an Edge fan, as an Edge head, so to speak.
Edgelord.
So yeah, lots of fun stuff. Patreon.com/RIP Livecast. That's the $5 tier. If you want to throw us a few extra bones, $10 a month, you get to be a top Livecast fan of the week. And what that means is we give you a shout out at the end of the show, which is right now. How should we do it, folks?
You should do it as a shaman.
No, I'm not. I will not disrespect the shop people.
You should do it as Kurt Russell, man.
I don't have a voice there. I'm sorry.
You should do it as that lady that was filming the Sweat Lodge. You should do it as if you had a mouthful of shrimp. You should do it. I could keep going. Do you want me to just...
Why don't you just do it in that voice? Why don't you do the shout outs in that voice?
In what voice? It's just my voice, motherfucker. How dare you?
Oh, exactly.
8 hours later.
I want to give a shout out to Eric.
There you go. You should do it as Edge.
Edge in Money Plane.
Okay.
And RP stands for Rob Ingested Peyote.
I want to give a shout out to Benjamin L. Deuterino, Dan R., Sam I Am, Mindy Mayers Kippa, Gender, Rabba Ganoush, aka Justin, Shishur Massachusetts, Cattle Decaf, Rabba Vampiro, Hugo, Likes, Tacos, Lando Danks, LaCroix, The Great Corey and the Great Scotty H, Doug Pigman, I Wish Rob Gave Me a Hickey, Douglas, how are you, Levison, and finally, hey guys, it's Josh. Thank you all. We love you. We kiss you, and we'll see you next week.